Want to go number 44?
34. E for effort.
E for effort. Also, noble effort. I'm trying my best. The lost cause. Oh, I'm going to like this one. The common contemporary fallacy of ethos that something must be right, true, valuable, or worthy of respect and honor solely because one or someone else has put so much sincere good faith, effort, or even sacrifice and bloodshed into it. See also appeal to pity, argument from inertia, heroes, all, or sob story. Yes. An extreme example of this fallacy is waving the bloody shirt, also the blood of the martyrs fallacy. The fallacy that a cause or argument, no matter how questionable or reprehensible, cannot be questioned without dishonoring the blood or sacrifice of those who died so nobly for that cause. Example, defend the patriotic gore that flecked the streets of Baltimore. From the official Maryland state song. See also cost bias, the soldier's honor fallacy, and the argument from inertia. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
this one's tough. This one's tough for people to get past.
for sure. Um, I have made a habit in my life to always be the devil's advocate, and I think Alan knows that pretty well about me. But even in situations where it's completely inappropriate to question, um, I think if something is inappropriate to question, it must be questioned for that very reason. So, like, even if it's something that is truly uh, kind of all agreed upon, I'll be like, "What's this all about?" Mm, Yeah, I've had some hot takes before in high school that I know are not uh, good ones, and in best interest of me not getting canceled, I won't share them. But I'll just say that that is a thing I've done, and but they still should be questioned. Um, so I guess I'm admitting that I have done the opposite of this fallacy, that I try to question things that people would argue ought not to be questioned, just for the sake of that. Um, but I can very much understand how uh, a lot of effort being put into something, including wars being lost or won, people dying over things for a cause, can very much make that cause powerful. I'm really glad that a lot of these fallacies at the end say this is essentially a combination of cost bias, soldier's honor fallacy, and the argument from inertia.
Yeah. I definitely can recall times in my life where I was a lot less mature and I was I had a negative relationship with results where E for effort was one that I used frequently. Um like I would almost like I can remember instances where I was either talking to bosses or colleagues or whatever when I was working in like normal workforce. I remember times when I because I had done my absolute best effort or what I thought was my best, I thought that that was merit for like praise or merit for being rewarded or not being fired or whatever it might be. Um, and I didn't have a good relationship with results. And so I remember actually resenting results and avoiding results. And if I would see other people having better results than I did, I would usually make it up to some excuse about life or myself or about them, or it's not fair because of XYZ reason. And so what really drove me, I think for me, yeah, the biggest thing that drove me to go for E for effort in my own life was genuinely because I had a negative relationship with results and I didn't accept that there's like results are the results are what they are, and it's like if you gave everything you had but you still missed the mark, it's like you missed the mark, and that's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean you're bad, doesn't mean you're wrong, doesn't mean you fucked up, doesn't mean you're not valuable, doesn't mean you're not worthy. But uh for me at that time, I definitely didn't look at results that way. I thought results determined my worthiness, determined my validity as a soul. And so if I didn't get the results because I was unwilling to be invalid as a soul, I then leaned on E for effort to have me feel somewhat good about myself. Well, at least I did my best, you know, or whatever. So that's what I can recall from this one for sure.
Uh, I sorry, I was kind of not paying attention to some of that, and I tell me if I missed this part in your story. Because I think E for effort is specifically saying that you were putting effort into, the cause must be correct and not be challenged. Did you mention that part? Because if you did, I was not paying attention during that part. So like for example, something that you put a lot of effort to, and then eventually had to realize, or had the hesitancy of questioning whether that was a good thing or not. And I could think of one right now for me. When I worked at Vector, there was a strong wanting to not question whether or not what I was doing was perfectly ethical. And now I think not so much. But at the time, I'm like, well, I can't question that because that would take away from all the effort that I put into this.
Mm.
And so I'm just going to not question it. I'm just going to keep
Yeah.
staying the course. So I
Yeah.
think that is a more E for effort fallacy there for me.
Yeah, I think I have a less direct like a less I would say emotional example, but more kind of like one that came up immediately was 100. There was this I was working for a coaching company, and as a way to add value to the company early on, I developed this kind of like client manifest Google document with all these, you know, drop downs and all these things, and I put all this time into it, and the intention was to be able to keep track of clients and keep track of their wants, needs, desires, etc., in the frameworks of the company, and make sure that everybody was, you know, able to keep track of clients, pay attention to clients, feel connected to clients. It had all these intentions, and I made it, I built it, and I was like, we all should use this now. And the my manager at the time was like, yep, we all should use this. And then literally 4 months in, while being instructed to use this, it came out that nobody was using it. And for me, I wanted to believe so badly that this was a good thing. I was like, no, well, but this is good, and I didn't realize it. But in the background, the only reason I was obsessed with believing that this was a good thing that I made was because of how much time and effort I'd put into it. When the truth is it wasn't good because nobody was using it. So the results were saying, hey, look, you might think it's good, Alan, but no one's caring about it, so it's not good. And it's like, oh, but I don't want to believe that. So that to me is it's a less emotional example, but it's a very clear one for me.
Very good. Yeah, I think that one is definitely an E for effort for sure.
Yeah.